Welcome back, everybody. I'm Red, and this is Pure Luck Gaming. Today we're starting something new. It's kind of a Let's Play series for Assassin's Creed. Now, what's going on in the background is I'm going for a codex page. It's part of the storyline to unlock... I forget what it is. I haven't gone really in depth at this point, and it's been years since I've played Assassin's Creed 2. But part of the game is you have to collect, I think it's like 20 codex pages. All of them are set up this way. You have guards out front. You have to basically kill the guards to go into the room and collect the codex page. After you collect the pages, you take them to Leonardo da Vinci, who's one of the characters in the game, and he basically decodes the pages. The reason why I showed that at the beginning is for the Let's Play part, I'm going to be going through the story mode. And some videos will be like this, because it's technically part of the story, but the room I'm going into now is part of its 7 or 8 different seals that you have to collect to unlock Altair's armor from the first Assassin's Creed game. For these parts, they're basically kind of like puzzles slash mazes that you have to go through. These videos will be longer because it takes longer to go through them, and if you haven't played the game and you decide to start playing it, you can kind of use these as a reference for where you need to go and how to move around and everything. Everything else, for starters, the actual storyline, most of those take like maybe 5-10 minutes, so those will be shorter. Like I said, these will be longer, but it ends up being a little bit more of a walkthrough. Some of the stuff like the codex pages or the synchronizing stuff, equal view, those I'm not really going to show just because they don't really do a whole lot. Once you see somebody grab one codex page, you've seen all of them because they're all set up the exact same. And the eagle view thing, all you do with that is you'll see it at some point. Pretty much you go to the top of a really tall building and you have something that looks like an eagle's nest. You hit triangle if you're on PlayStation, and it does a pan view around your guy of him just looking out over the city. The only thing that does in the game is it updates your map, because to go around and find different things for treasure, different points in the game for the story mode, you have to pull up the map and it'll show you where it's at. However, when you start out, your map is basically blurred out. You can't see anything. And when you go to those eagle view points and hit the triangle button, he does the eagle view panorama thing. All that does is just update your map. So obviously I'm not going to show those because they don't really have any effect on the story. Nothing really happens with it. You just climb to the top of a tall building, hit triangle, and then you jump off. So, like I said, those aren't going to be shown. This one is the second medallion that I'm going after. The first one, not really going to show, just because initially I wasn't planning on doing a Let's Play series with Assassin's Creed. But for the PS4, and I don't know if Xbox One is doing the same thing, what they released is the Ezio collection, which for the storyline for Assassin's Creed, you have Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. All three of those games focus on the character Ezio Auditore. The whole story for Assassin's Creed is fairly long, but for the different games I've played, I think the story that focused around Ezio's character was the most enjoyable for me to play. So when they released those 3 games in a collection group, which basically it's the price of one game, but you get those 3 and 2 other kind of shorter games. One happens before the Ezio series and one happens after. I have to re-pull up what those titles are. But for the ones I played, these were kind of the most fun, and since they put all of them together and actually released it for the PlayStation 4, figured why not. So the stuff that you're missing out on at this point is basically like the first 4 hours that I played, which kind of introduces Ezio's character a little bit. introduces his brother, his father, and kind of how he gets the armor, or what the current clothes that he's wearing. Which basically what happens, to kind of get you up to speed, is his father is a part of the Assassins organization, even though he doesn't know it, and the group called the Templars are basically trying to take over Rome and run things their own way, and to keep his dad out of it. They say that he committed whatever crime that's punished, or he committed the crime of treason, which is punishable by death. And Ezio's character kind of gets up to speed a little bit when he takes the evidence to show that his father and brothers were innocent. The person he gave the evidence to ends up hanging his dad and two brothers and says that he never got the evidence. And right before that, his dad had Ezio go get a box which has the clothes that he's currently wearing. They're all white in the game. You can dye the clothes different colors. I went with the crimson red. He puts that on and starts kind of learning about the whole Assassins organization and their kind of role in things. And that's basically where I'm at now as far as the storyline goes. One part dealt with the courtesans, where they kind of teach you how to move around, and I went to his uncle's village where some of the stuff for basics for fighting, he kind of goes over that, and some of the stuff for fixing up the villa in the town there, and kind of getting further into it. They haven't really gotten to that point. Right now it's really his uncle's encouraging him to be a part of the organization and to basically continue with his dad's work. So, like I said, could go into more detail, but summing up 4 hours of story in a couple minutes, fairly hard. And it's one of those that a lot of what goes on in the story is going to be obviously expanded upon, and different aspects will happen in the game beyond now that will really kind of give you more of a background for what's going on and get you up to speed fairly quickly. So I'm not worried about really restarting and going back and doing the first 4 hours over again. And the other half of it is, since it is a 3-game series, obviously for a Let's Play it's going to take a while. So right now what I'm doing is, like I said, going through, obviously it's a church, but to unlock Ezio's, or not Ezio's, Altair's armor, you have to get 7 or 8 medallions, and it unlocks his armor down in a cave, pretty much, to kind of simplify it. And this one is really, if I remember correctly, kind of one of the more difficult ones, and rumbles to help you get back up to where you're at. So when you don't get one of those, sometimes you have to sit there and go like another 5 minutes to get back to where you were. Kind of a pain. But for here, what you'll see in a minute is, for this section you have a chest, and all the chest has like treasures in it for different amounts of money and stuff. Getting to the different ones that are hidden throughout the level are kind of difficult, and it really takes a bit of practice with the different movements for what they call free running or parkour, what kind of generally people refer to it as now. It ends up, that style of movement ends up being a big part of the game, and going through the different mazes ends up being fairly difficult. The first time I played Assassin's Creed 2 and went through this, I fell a lot. So actually I'm fairly surprised I haven't fallen yet. And actually I think, yeah, coming up here there's a chest with treasure in it that you can get. It's not like a ton of money. The first time I went through the game, I actually just gave up on it because I fell enough that one, you lose a decent bit of your health, but if you don't heal yourself after you fall, you die and desynchronize. Basically you start the thing over. I did that a couple times and just gave up on it the treasure wasn't really worth getting. So going through this time, I'm going to attempt it again. And oh yeah, that's right. This one, I forget where you have to jump from, but basically there's something you have to jump to or from to get up higher. Like I said, for these parts, they're kind of fun if you like a mental aspect of the game for kind of problem solving and solving mazes. They're fun. I really enjoy these. The downside is some spots like now, if you haven't done it before, it can be difficult. And if you have done it before, if you haven't played for a while, remembering where to go to get to certain spots can be slightly difficult. Like here, you got the one banner hanging down that I can't get around. And really seems like I'm supposed to jump to the chandelier, but I don't remember from where. Can't go up there. One thing that you kind of have to pay attention to, which actually that might be the trick for this one. When you move to certain areas when you're climbing on the walls, the camera angle will shift kind of like that. And that's an indication of kind of where you need to go or potentially jump from. Like, okay, yeah, like right there how the angle changed again. You basically have to jump off and go backwards towards the chandelier. And I did it without falling this time. So we get some pocket money. Now I have to figure out how to get back to the normal thing without falling down and killing myself. So, like I said, for me, these are fun. However, at times they can be difficult because kind of like where I am right now, it's one of those spots that if you fall away to the ground, I have full health, which is the little diamonds up in the left corner for the screen. That's basically a health bar. Falling from where I was at probably isn't enough to kill me, but it knocked me down to basically like 1 diamond of health. The really downside is that's one of those spots that you basically, that second ladder that you saw fell, you have to go all the way back there to work your way back up. That's kind of one of those pain in the butt parts where when you fall, you're going to take another 5-6 minutes to just get back to where you're at. So when you get up this high and you don't have any quick, easy ways up, which I missed the jump right there, so more problem solving. Figure out how to get back up without dying. Which, like I said, is kind of a downside because there really is no quick way up to where I'm at right now. So if I fall all the way down, that's not going to be good. Ooh. Okay, we get another chest here, and you got rocks on that big round thing on the wall sticking out. So that's probably a way up. That's kind of one thing that is nice about the game is when you see kind of the odd bricks like right here, that's an indication of places that you're supposed to climb up. The game's usually pretty good about not having stuff like that, just random places where they don't really serve a purpose. Kind of like here, no reason for the mismatching bricks and all that for it to be fallen, so kind of indication you need to climb up. Like I said, this part isn't really too exciting. It's more of a walkthrough or kind of a how-to to collect the medallions. Outside of these, everything else will stick more to the story mode, which will be the next video because the next memory spot for the story mode is coming up for after I completed this. So that'll be in the next video. If you like the gameplay, hit the like button. Always welcome to subscribe and clearly stick around for more, because not only do I have to finish this one, but there's 2 more games ahead. Also, for this part, when you get to these, check around, because if you just go for the medallion, there's usually 3 to 6 chests depending on where you're at that have goodies in it, so go get those first. And you don't have to worry about getting lost to find a way out, because after you collect the medallion, the door or secret passageway always highlights, so it makes it pretty easy for finding your way out. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.